Did you know you could purchase a home in Georgia with as little as $100 down? Yep, that's right. I said as little as $100 down. There's a little known program through HUD where they have already discounted properties and they're only requiring on some of those properties $100 down payment. Now, whether you're a first-time home buyer or you're looking for an opportunity to buy an affordable home on your own, this program is available in Georgia. Stick around because I'm going to break down everything you need to know to get into this $100 down program that's available in Georgia for Georgia residents. So what FHA is the Federal Housing Administration. FHA falls under the umbrella of HUD. HUD's job which is the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, where they focus on affordable housing, homelessness, and building homeowners, right? In this video, we're going to specifically talk about purchasing homes. So FHA falls under HUD's umbrella. FHA is the Federal Housing Administration, which typically has a 3.5% down payment requirement and also typically has lower interest rates than other loans such as conventional or bank statement loans because the government's trying to entice people to purchase homes and give them a way into home ownership. Now, like I said, FHA has a 580 minimum credit score for 3.5% down payment. However, you can purchase a home with a 500 to a 579 credit score. However, that requires a 10% down payment from you. Now, in order to qualify for an FHA mortgage, how you can qualify for an FHA mortgage, lenders look at how much does a borrower has in terms of qualifying income coming in, and then they also look at what goes out. This encompasses what we call debt to income ratio. In this video, you'll probably hear it known as DTI. The debt to income ratio is basically you're only allowed maximum 47% of your qualifying income for a housing ratio, which is your front end ratio. And then what we call the back end housing ratio is where you have your current debts plus the new mortgage, which cannot exceed 56.99%. So the purpose of this video, if you were making $10,000 a month, your mortgage could not be more than $4,700 a month. And on your back end ratio, it could not exceed $5,699. Now, when you run it through the automated underwriting system, better known as AUS, or you may hear someone refer to as your DU findings, which is desktop underwriting, it will round that 56.99 up to 57%. So as we talk about your current housing payment, I want to make sure I let you know what's included in a housing payment. Included in a housing payment is principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, and mortgage insurance. People say it's PMI, but it's actually MIP, mortgage insurance premium, which is charged on all FHA loans, whether you put 3.5% down, the $100 down, or if you put 20% down. If you want to learn more about PMI, I have a video that I've done talking about mortgage insurance. You can click on the link to watch that video. So we went over what FHA is. Now let's get into the HUD $100 down program. HUD has certain properties in all 50 states. There are not always a ton of properties depending on what's going on in the cycle of the market. However, these properties are available in all 50 states if they have HUD homes. How you can check out if they're available in your area is you go to HUD-homestores.com. The link for HUD-homestore.com will be below. You click on it, select your state or neighboring state, depending on where you live at in that state, to see if they have any properties available. So let's talk about what a HUD home is. A HUD home is an FHA loan that was defaulted on. HUD reimbursed the lender because they guaranteed that loan. They reimbursed the lender the remaining funds. They took the property back, and now they're putting it back on the market so you can purchase it. Now, the property has to qualify for the HUD $100 down program, which is definitely a benefit. Another benefit is HUD homes are typically already deeply discounted. So you're also getting a house that's discounted, and you have the potential to purchase it with $100 down as a down payment. $100 down as a down payment, which is already another significant discount from the 3.5% or 10% down payment that is typically required on an FHA loan, depending on your credit score. One of the benefits of the HUD $100 down program is you have to live in the year for at least 1 full year, and it has to be your primary residence. This program is not open to investors. It gives the regular home buyer a better shot at purchasing this deal. While this program has upsides, there are also some downsides. One of the downsides to this program is HUD sells their homes in as-is conditions, meaning they typically do not make any repairs on these homes. If the home is not habitable or it needs major repairs, it is your responsibility to get the repairs done to the property when you purchase it. However, there's an amazing program called FHA 203K, which these homes typically qualify for. Well, the FHA 203K is where you can roll in the repair cost into the loan so you can get the repairs made on this home and live in it. So let's talk about that again. You're putting $100 down, and let's say that the property needs $100,000 in work. You can roll in the $100 down worth of repairs into the loan as long as you still qualify, get the home repaired, and move into it and live in it with $100 as a down payment. So let's not forget, you also have to have closing costs. Depending on where you're at, what part of the country in, your closing cost is going to average somewhere between 3.5% to maybe 5%, depending on what part of the country you're in. This is just an estimate. I don't know exactly where you are, but let's use those for round numbers. So if you can come in with 3.5% to 5% for closing costs, and you have your $100,000 rolled into the loan and your $100 down as a down payment, you could get a home with instant equity and a deeply discounted property by purchasing a HUD $100 down property using FHA financing. And again, if you need repairs, you have the FHA 203K, which you could potentially qualify for to get the repairs rolled into the loan. So before we end this video, there's a few other requirements. Another requirement is you have to work with a HUD-approved real estate agent who is qualified to put in a bid on a HUD home. Another qualification is you cannot have purchased a HUD home within the last 2 years in order to purchase in this program. I hope this video has been helpful. I hope I've given you some insight on the HUD $100 down program. Again, to find out if you have properties available in your area, the link will be below for you to click on to find out where those homes are and how much they are. And your next step after seeing if there's any homes in your market is to reach out to a mortgage lender and see if you qualify for this program. Hopefully this has been helpful. I'm Kevin Jefferson, the People's Lender. Make it a great day.